Hello, this is Jesse Straight from Whiffletree Farm. I've been getting some questions about why we only have fresh chicken in the spring to fall, and I wanted to try and answer that question here and show you where these meat chickens are raised. So first off, we think it's really important to raise our chickens on fresh pasture. We think these animals were meant to live in relationship with the outdoors, fresh air, sunlight, clean air, clean ground, actually grazing plants, and then their benefit to the land in terms of improving the soil and plant life. The other thing that's important is that these plants have a much more complex root system and spectrum of nutrients than your annuals would have, like your corn and soybeans that grow in about 4 months and die. So these plants have been here for years and years and years, and the spectrum of nutrients that they are tapping into and have and are thereby bringing into the food is much more complex and beneficial. So that's also really important. And then, so we think that's important, and then we're actually doing it. We're actually raising animals on fresh pasture. And there's a lot of slick marketing out there that wants you to think that people are doing what this looks like, and it just isn't. It's, it's outdoor access where they're primarily on concrete, or it's stationary housing where it's essentially, dirt pads, but effectively it's not on fresh pasture like this. And this is what takes a lot of work and planning and labor to make happen, but it's essential if you want to give these animals lives that accord with their nature and help them to be healthy and help the food to be healthy and the land to be healthy. So you just can't cut this corner as much as it's tempting to. And so since we want to do this on pasture, we do this just spring to fall, and that's because it's stressful on these meat chickens to be out in the cold winter. And additionally, there would be frozen water issues. So getting the chickens, actual clean water that's not ice can be tricky. And then additionally, these animals, like I mentioned, are doing a lot of benefit to the land when the plants are growing, when the soil is active, when it can actually metabolize what they're putting out. But as soon as that goes dormant, what they would be putting out would just burn up the land and would become a liability. So it goes from being an asset to a liability. And so that's not good for the land. It's not good for the chickens to be out here in the winter. So we don't do that then, but that means we don't have fresh chicken in the winter. And so basically we ask you all to hang with us and to buy and eat our frozen chicken. So we really appreciate you all understanding our reasons and partnering with us to really farm and eat in a way that makes sense seasonally and with the natures of the animals and the land and all that stuff. So I just wanted to give a quick explanation. You can see here I'm inside this, what we call a pasture schooner. This was just moved this morning. We move these schooners every day to fresh pasture. You can see how nice and clean the ground is. We don't need antibiotics. We don't need chemical wormers because these animals are living in a clean environment. And you can see their feeders and drinkers in here as well. And they're protected. It's raining a little bit here. They're protected from, weather, stuff like that. And we have a hot wire that goes around the outside to prevent ground predators from breaking in here and killing these chickens. So we keep them safe. We keep them comfortable. We keep them on clean ground. We benefit the ground. We put in front of them as easy as possible lots of really wonderful plants that they can graze and do good for themselves and for you all. So anyway, just a quick explanation there. Hope you all appreciate that. Please let me know if you have any more questions, if any of that doesn't make sense, or if you have any follow-up questions. And again, thanks so much for tracking with us and working with us on this.